Hello, everyone. So we have Adyan here with us today. So, Adyan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone. So I am Adyan and I am a final year student of BTech at BMS College of Engineering, and I love cybersecurity and all the things security. So basically, and I have a like currently I have an offer from Akamai as a SOC analyst, and I'll be joining them in 2021 July. Also, I'm OSCP certified, and I have in the past contributed to Digit. I wrote for them, which is the India's biggest magazine. And in my free time, I try to do bug bounty, but not very successfully. So yeah.
That's amazing. So, a career in cybersecurity. So, starting off with Akamai, how did you manage to get this particular role? How did you apply for the particular role?
So in August 2020, Akamai came to our college as a part of the campus placement, and they were offering this position of SOC analyst, and it's like the only security position that is offered in our campus placement. So this was like my first and last option. So yeah, in August 1st or second week they came and I applied for the position.
Okay. SOC analyst is something very new to me. Why don't you elaborate on what exactly is that role? What does SOC stand
So
for?
SOC stands for Security Operations Center. So it's like every big organization has dedicated centers for their infrastructure. For example, they have NOCs, which is Network Operations Center. Similarly, we have SOC, which is like Security Operations Center. So my work will be since Akamai is a CDN, content delivery network company, so they provide their services to a lot of organizations in every sector, banking or telecom or whatever. And so those companies get attacked on daily basis. So our job is to monitor all and monitor the alerts that the systems are giving us, triaging the tickets, or keeping a complete control over whatever security attacks, cyber security attacks are taking place against the customers of Akamai.
Okay, got it. So, was this particular role only confined for CS students, or were all the branches allowed to sit for the placements?
I think all the branches were allowed to sit, but CS and IS were the preferred branches.
Okay, got it. So why don't you elaborate on the selection process of Akamai? Like what all rounds were there, and could you elaborate on the rounds?
So, the first round was aptitude. So there was MCQs from different sections. You have maths and Unix, like basically Linux shell scripting, and some aptitude tests, for example, pattern solving or like same sort of questions. There was nothing, no coding. So if people don't like coding, this can be the place where they can apply. Second round was completely technical. So they were it was made since Akamai is a network focused internet company. The second round was completely focused on network, how things work, what the different kind of attacks, DDoS attacks, this that, and so it was, I will say, 60% network and 40% security focused. So the second round. Third round was the managerial round.
So second, what was
Yeah,
second round was a technical interview, is it?
yeah, it was a technical interview.
Okay, got it.
So the third round was the managerial round. Uh, it was like a frank discussion about my life at college, on the basically life skills. He was asking about life skills and such sort of questions. So I like that was not something you cannot prepare for. It something which they will be testing for who you are. So I don't think you can prepare for something like that. After that, it was the HR round where they clarified the doubts. Clarified the doubts about the payment structure, the leaves and stipend. Also, they asked me questions like, how will you manage the job, since this job is also on weekends, because security is like a 20 like the SOC analyst and SOC center operates 24 into 7 all throughout the year. So they were like, how will you manage and working at the weekend, and how will you manage the boredom that comes with the job? So it's like situational questions and you have to answer them right on the spot. So that was the third round. and fourth round, I mean. Yeah, one, two, three, yeah, fourth round. After that, I don't know why, but I had another manager round, and it was a very small interaction with one of the managers. And after that, like the results were announced, and all of these happened in one day. So it was a one day affair with, like, I think typically four rounds, and after that the results were announced, like unofficially through call that day, but officially the placement center was, like what do you say, the company told placement center up the next day.
Okay, got it. So basically, the questions were only focused on Linux, shell scripting, computer networks, and security. Like no operating systems or DBMS and all the things that we study usually in our computer science field were asked.
No, like as far as I remember from my interview experience, they didn't ask such questions. Operating system can be asked, but not on the, like, what do you say, implementation level, but actually in the user interface level. For example, which command on Linux does what, those sort of things.
Okay, that's amazing. So whoever doesn't like coding, this is a field for them, I guess.
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, so all these rounds happen on the same day, is it?
Yeah, same day.
Okay, cool. So how was your preparation like for Akamai? Like what all fields did you focus on during your college
So it
days?
was like, since I am doing security for like 3 to 2 years with like complete interest, so I wouldn't say that I explicitly prepared for the interview. I prepared for the MCQs and the aptitude part, but for the face-to-face interviews, I didn't prepare as such. I just looked into what Akamai does, what is that they provide to their customers, and after that, like if I want to say, if someone want to focus on something, it should be that they should be clear with network protocols, the OSI layer model, and how things work, which port has which service, a little bit of like DDoS attacks, how to mitigate them, and like a general overview of security. So that was pretty much my preparation. Yeah.
Right, so you need to have a good foundation in computer networks, if
Yeah,
I'm not wrong.
computer networks is a must.
Got it. So Adyan, in your introduction, you had mentioned something about OSCP. What exactly is that? Like, could you elaborate on that?
So it's like, OSCP is Offensive Security Certified Professional, like it's the full form of that, and it is one of the like most reputed certifications in security industry. So we have, like, the security industry is mainly divided in two parts. One is blue team, which is like the defenders are called the blue team, and the other part is the red team. So red teamers are those who attack the network in a like controlled environment to found the fault with them. So OSCP is provided in the red team department, and it's provided by Offensive Security, and it's like one of the most coveted certification because the exam is a 24-hour hands-on lab examination, like which not most of the certifications provides. For example, most of them have MCQ examinations to get the certification, but OSCP you have to clear that lab hands-on practical exam. So
Okay.
it's like $1,200, so not for like beginners. If you don't have that. Okay, wait, my screen went black, sorry for that.
No
So it's
problem.
not for like beginners, complete beginners, I will say. Like you need some backing and you need some experience in security before tackling this.
Okay, got it. So what does the lab signify? Like, is it you need to pen test the labs, is it?
So it's like, they have their own network, so you connect to their network using a VPN, and those networks are vulnerable by design. So it's like it's a testing playground. So it's like you have to find the faults present there, and but they are vulnerable in such a way that they mimic real life. So they are simulated environment where we have to show your skills, and like there are 5 machines in the examinations, and like you have to clear around 3 machines to pass the exam. So if more the merrier, but yeah, 70 is the passing marks out of 100. So you have to hack them basically. Yeah.
Amazing. How many did you clear?
I think I had cleared, let me remember, one, two, I had 3.5.
Oh,
Like,
that's amazing.
because they do give partial marking. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are levels of getting like compromising a machine.
Mm-hmm.
So based on that, I had around 3.5. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And you mentioned that it's for some $1,200. That's a lot of money. How did you manage
Uh,
to
so I guess I lucked
get that?
out in that compartment because I was like scrolling Twitter and there's a guy called Rob Fuller,
Mm-hmm.
also known as Mubix on Twitter. He's like one of the veterans of the like security community on Twitter. So I was
Mm-hmm.
doing a giveaway of three OSCP vouchers. So it was not like a random giveaway. There were some tasks that you had to do. Like for example, the first task was to you need to get two people to vouch for you in the security community for all your works and what all you have done. Next was you have to write him a paragraph about yourself on Twitter or mail him. The third
Mm-hmm.
one was to write a technical paper or a article sort of on a topic that he gave us. So
Okay.
after all that, even after doing all this, I didn't actually win because I was among the six runner-ups and the like I missed out on the three vouchers. But because of our like what do you say, the work and the quality of our articles, the security community came together and the offensive security company, which provides offsec OSCP, sorry, they themselves like decided to sponsor all of the six runner-up. So that's how I managed to get the certification.
That's amazing. So how did you get the two security guys to vouch for you? Like,
So as
do
I
you know them
said,
personally?
I know one of them personally and one of them from the communities. There are like numerous Discord servers I am part of. With the like they talk security and that's what we do all day. So it's like one of the guys I know personally, and other one of them was one of my friend with which we like hacked together on Hack the Box platform. So since I know them, I work with them. So like yeah, they were
Oh,
there for vouching for me.
that's amazing. So having a good relation in the community and having a good network is really necessary if you want to
Absolutely. In
proceed in this field.
security, presence in community is absolutely necessary.
Okay, got it. That's amazing. So you also mentioned about being a technical contributor for Digit magazines. How did you manage to get that?
Yeah, so since I was young, I love to write whatever it is. So,
Okay.
but as like I don't know, I was like a subscriber for Digit magazine when I was like what in eighth or ninth class, and I had a good relation with their editors because I used to write them feedback letters. I played with them on Steam. I had like sent them friend requests on Facebook and all. So excuse me, so I had good relations with them. So as I talked about the OSCP giveaway, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
article that I submitted for the giveaway, I thought why not publish it somewhere. So I contacted the executive editor of Digit and asked him. So he said that with few changes, it is publishable. So we worked together, and whatever he said, I changed accordingly according to a magazine format, and then it was published. So right, like first article, I didn't like ask for money or anything because it was like getting printed was worth it enough.
Yeah.
But from then on, like it was like a setup up with us that they'll pay me per word. So I wrote for them for 7 or 8 months. So yeah, I'm not doing it currently because a lot of other work is piling up. So, but at that time, yeah. So that's how it came to be.
Oh, that's amazing. So easy pocket money for you.
Yeah, you can say that,
So,
but contacts are important.
okay, yes, got it. So what made you choose a career in cybersecurity?
So first of all, I'll say that I am very bad at coding. I can't code for
Okay.
shit. So that's why one of like as I said, this was the only security company that comes to our college. So it was my first and last shot. So like coding is very like competitive coding and all that is very in demand these days in tech interviews and for all the big companies. So but that is like the one of the last reasons for choosing cybersecurity. The first was like I was very like fascinated by hacking and the culture. So it's like the even though I said that I'm doing cybersecurity for last 2 or 3 years, the love began when I was like in sixth class or something. I found a website called enigmagroup.org. It was like marketed as a playground for hackers. They had some challenges for JavaScript, and like you had to bypass this and that, some basic stuff which is not all realistic, but which is enough to like what do you say, start a fire within you for like that like field. That's how cybersecurity and things happen. I never knew that I will be having a career in cybersecurity, but now here we are.
Okay, that's amazing. You also mentioned something about Hack the Box. What is that?
So hack the box is like, as I said, you won't be going into OSCP and spending 1,200 bucks without any prior experience. So hack the box
Mm-hmm.
is like they are a online platform that provide you training ground. Like they have their own community made vulnerable by design machines. So like instead of having machines in that OSCP exam, you have many machines here which you can practice your skills on. So before tackling something like OSCP, you can spend time here to like improve your skills.
Okay, so is it a free platform or do you need to pay something for this?
It is a freemium, like they have free options and premium options, but I'd
Mm-hmm.
say free is more than enough. So it's like a
Okay.
code chef for hackers, because like code chef have for coders, so this is like
Mm-hmm.
that equivalent.
Got it. So, what would be your advice for the first, second, and third years who want to pursue a career in cybersecurity? Like, where can they start off with the journey?
So it's like there are numerous online resources. Like if they want to do cybersecurity, one of the things is mindset. It's like it's not all the cool things that is shown in the movies or whatever, but like mostly cybersecurity is persistence. You have to stick with a thing until you get it. So if you are in the habit of giving up earlier, I will say don't even start, because at the end you will have spent time and you will not gain anything. So if you want to start, clear your network concepts, not in depth. Like I still don't know what the difference between switch and a hub, but like you should know what are the protocols. Like basically application layer stuff you should be good at. After that you need the like basic security cybersecurity understanding. So there are like numerous courses on Udemy, or YouTube is a great source. Or you can just basically go to a person or ask them, and like they will tell you something. You can ask some other person, they will tell you something. So it's like it's a due process that you have to follow. I would recommend the Cyber Mentors course on Udemy, which is like cybersecurity for beginners. So as it says, it's for beginners and it will help you a lot. And from then just hop on to hack the box and like try to do as much as possible hands-on training as you can. So like install Linux in your computer. So it's like hacking is not everything, like basically technical. It's like it is technical, but it's not like you have to hack a machine or something like that. Installing a Linux system on your own is this sort of hacking, like fixing some stuff that is not working. So it's like you have to keep experiment, and that is the way to go.
Got it. That's amazing. You also mentioned about bug bounties. When did you start doing with that?
So bug bounty is something that I have been trying to do, but I never, like I'm not very good at. Like I have
Mhm.
around like two bounties on my name, and they were like more observations, less bugs. So
Mhm.
like I don't think I am a good enough like person to give my opinion on bug bounties, but it is a great source for money and learning things. So if you are good at certain thing, you can try your hand at bug bounties.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Adyan, for joining us today. I'm sure all this will be helpful for those who are trying to start their career in cybersecurity.
Thank you,
So,
Anjali, for
thank
providing this opportunity to share my experience. Thank you. It has been lovely. Thank you.